The February wind cut through Marcus Chen's thin jacket as he stood outside Stateville Correctional Center, breathing free air for the first time in 8 years. The concrete walls behind him had stolen the best years of his life, ages 28 to 36, for a crime he'd never committed. Armed robbery, they'd said. 25 to life, reduced to 8 with good behavior, and a sympathetic parole board who'd finally listened to his protests of innocence. A horn honked. Their old Honda Civic idled at the curb, more rust than blue now. Through the windshield, he could see Sophia, his wife, the woman who'd promised to wait. She was crying before he even reached the car. "Marcus!" she sobbed, launching herself at him. Her arms felt thinner than he remembered, her perfume different. "Oh God, Marcus, you're really here. You're really home." He held her, feeling the trembling in her shoulders, smelling her hair. 8 years of dreaming about this moment, and now it felt wrong somehow, like hugging a stranger wearing his wife's face. "I never doubted you," she whispered against his chest. "Not once. I knew you were innocent. I knew you'd come home to me." Over her shoulder, Marcus noticed movement in the back seat. A boy, maybe 7 years old, watching them with curious eyes. Sophia pulled back, wiping her tears. "Oh, Marcus, this is Tyler, your nephew, James's son." The boy waved shyly. Marcus forced a smile and waved back, even as something cold settled in his stomach. James had visited him exactly once in 8 years, 2 years into his sentence. His brother had looked guilty, avoided eye contact, mumbled about being busy with work. He'd never mentioned having a son. "Hi, Tyler," Marcus said, sliding into the passenger seat. The car smelled like juice boxes and graham crackers. "Nice to meet you." "Hi, Uncle Marcus," the boy said. Then quieter. "Mommy said you were coming home today." Sophia's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "He calls me that sometimes," she said quickly, pulling into traffic. "Since I've been taking care of him, after his mom, after the accident." Marcus nodded, but he was watching Tyler in the side mirror. The boy had auburn hair that caught the light, green eyes that reminded Marcus of sea glass. Both Chen brothers had inherited their Chinese father's black hair and brown eyes. Their mother used to joke that the Chen genes were too strong for anything else to break through. "When did James's wife pass?" Marcus asked carefully. "About 5 years ago," Sophia said. "Car accident, drunk driver. James was deployed overseas, so I took Tyler in. Family helps family, right?" The math didn't work. Tyler looked 7, maybe 8. If his mother died 5 years ago, he would have been 2 or 3. Old enough to remember. Old enough to know the difference between Mommy and Aunt Sophia. They stopped at a red light. Tyler leaned forward between the seats. "Mommy, is this my real daddy? The one from the pictures you showed me?" The silence in the car was deafening. Sophia's face went white, then red. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. "Tyler, honey, no," she stammered. "This is your Uncle Marcus, remember? We talked about this. Your daddy is Uncle James." "But you said my real daddy was away and couldn't—" "Tyler!" Sophia's voice cracked like a whip. "That's enough. You're confused, baby. It's been a long day." Marcus kept his face neutral, but inside, pieces were clicking together like tumblers in a lock. The single prison visit. The way Sophia's letters had changed around year 3, going from passionate love letters to carefully supportive notes from a faithful wife. The way she'd mentioned taking care of James's son, but never sent pictures, never brought him to visit. "It's okay," Marcus said mildly. "Kids get confused. Must be exciting, meeting new family." Tyler settled back in his seat, but Marcus caught him watching in the mirror. Those green eyes were intelligent, observant. Whatever lies the adults were telling, Tyler knew something wasn't right. The drive to their apartment took 40 minutes. Sophia filled the silence with nervous chatter about the neighborhood, about her job at the medical clinic, about how she'd kept everything just the way Marcus remembered. Every word sounded rehearsed. When they finally pulled into the parking lot of their old complex, Marcus saw the truth before they even reached the door. The welcome mat was new. The potted plant Sophia had always kept by the door was gone. Through the window, he could see furniture that wasn't there 8 years ago. I did some redecorating, Sophia said quickly, fumbling with her keys. Just little things, to keep busy, you know. Inside, the changes were more obvious. The walls had been repainted from the warm beige they'd chosen together to a stark white. The photos were different too. Where their wedding pictures and vacation snapshots had hung, now there were generic landscape prints. But Marcus could see the dust marks on the walls, rectangular ghosts where frames had been recently removed. Tyler, honey, why don't you go play in your room? Sophia suggested. Okay, Mommy. The boys scampered down the hall to what used to be Marcus's home office. Sophia's shoulders sagged. I can explain. Can you? Marcus kept his voice level, non-threatening. He'd learned in prison that the best way to get information was to let people fill the silence themselves. It's just, James needed help with Tyler, and the boy was so young when his mother died, he got confused. Started calling me Mommy. The therapist said not to correct him too harshly, that he'd grow out of it. 5 years is a long time to be confused. I know how it looks. Sophia reached for him, then thought better of it. But I've been faithful, Marcus. I've been waiting for you. Everything else. It's just been about survival, taking care of family. You understand that, right? He studied her face. She'd aged well, still beautiful at 34, but there were lines around her eyes that spoke of secrets. Her wedding ring caught the light, the same simple band he'd placed on her finger 12 years ago. But her right hand bore a different ring now, a mother's ring with a single birthstone. July. Tyler's birth month, most likely. I need a shower, Marcus said finally. It's been a long day. Relief flooded Sophia's face. Of course, I'll make dinner. Your favorite, teriyaki chicken, right? I still remember. In the bathroom, Marcus let the hot water wash away 8 years of prison grime. But it couldn't wash away the growing certainty that the life he'd fought to return to was a lie. He'd gone to prison for armed robbery. 3 witnesses had identified him. Security footage showed someone his height and build. The stolen money was found in his car. His business partner had testified that Marcus had been acting strangely, talking about needing cash. The public defender had done his best, but the evidence was overwhelming. Only Marcus knew the truth. He'd been homesick with the flu that day, alone, no alibi except Sophia, who'd been at work. He'd maintained his innocence through trial, through sentencing, through every parole hearing until finally, someone listened. Now he wondered. If Sophia had been lying about this, what else had she lied about? Dinner was awkward. Tyler chattered about school, about his friends, about the soccer team he played on. Normal 7-year-old stuff, except for the way he kept slipping up, calling Sophia Mommy and Marcus Daddy before catching himself. Tyler's doing really well in school, Sophia said, cutting her chicken into precise squares. He's reading at a 3rd grade level already. Smart kid, Marcus agreed. Takes after the Chen side. Actually, he's more like... Sophia caught herself. I mean, James says he's got his mother's brains. What was her name again? James's wife? Linda. The answer came too quickly. Linda Patterson, from Ohio originally. Marcus filed the information away. And the accident happened? 5 years ago, June 15th, Highway 294 near the O'Hare exit. Drunk driver crossed the median. Again, too quick, too detailed. The kind of lie that's been rehearsed. After dinner, Sophia suggested they all watch a movie together. Like a family, she said, then immediately looked stricken. I mean, we are family, all of us. They settled on the couch, Tyler between them. The boy fell asleep halfway through the movie, his head gradually tilting until it rested against Marcus's arm. In sleep, he looked younger, more vulnerable. Marcus found himself studying the child's features, trying to see any resemblance to James. The nose, maybe. The shape of the ears. But that auburn hair, those long lashes, definitely not Chen genetics. He's a good kid, Marcus said softly. The best, Sophia agreed. Her hand crept across the couch, finding his. Marcus, I know this is all overwhelming. Coming home to changes, but we can make this work. We can be a family. Sophia. He kept his voice gentle. Whose son is Tyler? Her hand went rigid in his. He's James's son. I told you. James visited me once in 8 years. He never mentioned a wife, never mentioned a son. He was ashamed. The words tumbled out fast. About not visiting more, about needing my help with Tyler. You know how proud James is. Do I? Marcus turned to look at her. Because the James I remember wouldn't have let his son call another woman mommy for 5 years. The James I remember would have remarried or hired help or done anything except let his brother's wife play mother to his child. Tears were rolling down Sophia's cheeks now. Please, can we talk about this tomorrow? You just got home. Let's not ruin it with questions and doubt. Please, Marcus. I've waited so long for this day. He could push, demand answers. But 8 years in prison had taught him patience. The truth would come out. It always did. And when it did, he'd be ready. Okay, he said. Tomorrow. They carried Tyler to his room together. It was fully decorated, not a guest room, but a boys' sanctuary. Soccer trophies on the shelf. Drawings taped to the walls. A hamster cage in the corner. This was a room that had been lived in for years, not months. Sophia tucked Tyler in, kissing his forehead. Good night, baby. Night, Mommy, Tyler mumbled. Then, cracking one eye open, Night, Daddy. Neither adult corrected him. Their own bedroom was the most changed of all. New furniture, new bedding, new everything. Sophia had said she'd kept things the same, but this room bore no resemblance to the space they'd shared as newlyweds. I'll sleep on the couch, Sophia offered. Until you're comfortable. No. Marcus sat on the bed, firm, not the soft mattress Sophia had always preferred. We're husband and wife, aren't we? She changed in the bathroom, came out wearing flannel pajamas that covered her from neck to ankle. Nothing like the silk nightgowns she used to favor. When she slipped into bed, she stayed on her side, careful not to touch him. Good night, Marcus. Good night, Sophia. He lay in the dark, listening to her breathing. It took her a long time to fall asleep. When she finally did, she whispered a name. It wasn't his. Chapter 2. Investigation. Marcus woke at 5 a.m., prison habits dying hard. Sophia was still asleep, curled on her side of the bed like a question mark. In the pale morning light, he could see her phone on the nightstand. Password protected, of course. He slipped out of bed, grabbed clothes from a drawer that somehow still contained his things, and padded to the kitchen. The coffee maker was new, expensive. The refrigerator was covered in Tyler's artwork, report cards, a soccer schedule. Normal family detritus, except this wasn't his family. Among the papers, he found a school directory magnet. Tyler Chen, grade 2, Riverside Elementary. Emergency contacts. Sophia Chen, mother. James Chen, father. Mother, not guardian, not aunt. Marcus made coffee and settled at the kitchen table with Sophia's laptop. Also password protected, but she'd always been predictable. Her passwords followed a pattern. Significant dates plus her mother's maiden name. Their anniversary plus Rivera didn't work. Neither did his birthday or hers. Tyler's birthday plus Rivera opened it immediately. Her email was still logged in. Marcus scrolled through the inbox, careful not to mark anything as read. Most of it was mundane: work emails, spam, school newsletters. But the folders told a different story. One labeled legal contained custody documents. James Chen petitioning for full custody of his minor son. Sophia Chen responding as the child's mother, not guardian. The dates went back 6 years. Another folder. Medical. Tyler's immunization records, listing Sophia Chen as mother. Birth certificate attached. Father's name, James Chen. But the conception date would have been when James was deployed in Afghanistan, according to what Sophia had said. Marcus dug deeper. Social media was a gold mine. Sophia had blocked him on everything, probably thinking a man in prison wouldn't have internet access. She was wrong. The library computers at Stateville had been his window to the world. Her Facebook, under privacy settings he could now access from her computer, told the real story. Photos going back years. Tyler as a baby, a toddler, a preschooler, always with Sophia. And increasingly, with James. There was James at Tyler's first birthday party. James teaching Tyler to ride a bike. James and Sophia at a school Christmas concert, looking every inch the proud parents. The dates lined up, all while Marcus was in prison, proclaiming his innocence to anyone who would listen. Daddy? Marcus spun around. Tyler stood in the doorway, rubbing sleepy eyes. Morning, buddy. Just Uncle Marcus, remember? Tyler climbed onto the chair next to him. Mommy said I should call you that. But you look like the pictures. What pictures? The ones Mommy keeps in her drawer. She looks at them sometimes when she's sad. Marcus's chest tightened. Does she get sad a lot? Not anymore. Not since Daddy, Uncle James, started coming over more. When did Uncle James start coming over? Tyler scrunched up his face, thinking. When I was little, he brought me an Iron Man toy for my birthday. I was turning 3, I think. 5 years ago, after James's supposed wife died. Tyler, do you remember your first mommy? Before Sophia? The boy shook his head. Mommy says I was too little. She says my first mommy went to heaven. And you've always lived here? With Sophia? Uh-huh. Mommy says this was your house too before you had to go away. She said you did something bad, but it was a mistake. That's right. It was a mistake. Is that why you had to live in the timeout place? Despite everything, Marcus almost smiled. Yeah, buddy. A really long timeout. Mommy cried a lot when you were gone. But Uncle James made her feel better. I bet he did, Marcus thought. Tyler, honey, what are you doing up? Sophia appeared in the doorway, hair mussed from sleep. Her eyes widened when she saw him at her laptop. Marcus? What are you... Just checking the news, he said easily, closing the screen. 8 years is a long time. Lot to catch up on. She relaxed fractionally. Tyler, go get dressed for school. I'll make breakfast. The boy scampered off. Sophia moved to the coffee maker, her movements stiff. Sleep okay? She asked. Like a baby. You? It's adjustment. Having you here? She poured coffee with shaking hands. Marcus, about last night. About Tyler calling you, it's fine. He kept his voice light. Kids get confused. You said he's been through a lot. He has. Losing his mother so young. James being away so much with work. What does James do now? Still in construction? Commercial real estate, development. He's done well for himself. A pause. He helps out when he can. Financially, for Tyler. Good brother. Marcus sipped his coffee. Taking care of his son. And his sister-in-law. Something flickered across Sophia's face. We're family. We take care of each other. All these years and you never remarried. You're my husband. The words came out fierce. I made vows, for better or worse, even when they said you were guilty, even when the evidence... She stopped. I knew you were innocent. I knew you'd come home. The evidence was pretty damning. Witnesses make mistakes. Security footage can be unclear. The money in your car, she trailed off, could have been planted. Marcus watched her carefully. By someone who knew my routines, someone who had access to my vehicle. Sophia turned away, busying herself with making toast. The police said, I know what the police said. I'm more interested in what you think. I think you were framed. I've always thought that. By who? Her shoulders tensed. How would I know? You had enemies. Business competitors. Maybe someone who owed you money. Or someone who wanted what I had. The knife she was using to butter toast stilled. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just thinking out loud. Tyler bounced back into the kitchen, dressed for school. The conversation shifted to safer ground. Breakfast, homework, permission slips. Normal morning chaos, except for the undercurrent of tension that made every word feel loaded. Marcus offered to drive Tyler to school. Give us a chance to bond, he said. Sophia looked like she wanted to object, but couldn't find a reasonable excuse. In the car, Tyler chattered about his teacher, his best friend Miguel, the class hamster that might have babies soon. Normal kid stuff that made Marcus's chest ache for all he'd missed. Uncle Marcus? Tyler asked as they pulled up to the school. Are you going to live with us now? I think so. Is that okay with you? Yeah. The boy's enthusiasm was genuine. Maybe you can come to my soccer game on Saturday. Daddy, Uncle James, usually comes, but it would be cool if you both were there. I'd like that. Marcus watched Tyler run into school, backpack bouncing. Other parents waved at the boy, called out greetings. Tyler was clearly well-liked, well-adjusted. Whatever lies surrounded his existence, Sophia had been a good mother. But whose mother? Instead of going home, Marcus drove to the library. The computers there were public, untraceable. He started with Linda Patterson, James's supposed dead wife. She was very much alive and living in Naperville. Her Facebook was public, filled with photos of her new family. Husband, 2 kids, a dog, happy suburban life. Her info section mentioned she was divorced, not widowed. Marriage to James Chen from 2015 to 2019. No children from that union. So Tyler wasn't James's son from a previous marriage. Marcus dug deeper. Birth records were harder to access, but he'd learned a few tricks from a cellmate who'd been in for identity theft. Tyler Chen, born July 15, 2017. Mother, Sophia Chen. Father, James Chen. But wait, Marcus checked his own timeline. July 2017, he'd been in county jail awaiting trial. James had been in Afghanistan, according to military deployment records Marcus found on a veteran's website. Neither Chen brother could have fathered Tyler. So who had? The answer came from an unexpected source. Sophia's high school Facebook, which she'd apparently forgotten existed. Posts from 2016, before Marcus's arrest. Photos from a reunion. Sophia laughing with a man Marcus recognized. David Garrison, her high school boyfriend. The one she'd dated before meeting Marcus. The one with auburn hair and green eyes. Comments on the photos were revealing. So good to catch up. Just like old times. Some things never change. Marcus cross-referenced. David Garrison lived in Chicago, worked in medical equipment sales. Would have reasons to visit clinics like where Sophia worked. The timeline fit. Late 2016, Sophia reconnects with an old flame. Early 2017, she's pregnant. October 2017, Marcus is arrested for armed robbery. By the time Tyler is born, Marcus is already in jail, and Sophia has a problem. She couldn't claim David as the father. She was married, and it would destroy her image as the faithful wife. She couldn't claim Marcus. He'd been in jail during conception. So she claimed James, who was conveniently overseas and unable to dispute it immediately. But why would James go along with it when he returned? Unless... Marcus's blood ran cold. Unless James had reasons of his own to want Marcus out of the picture. Chapter 3. Unraveling Marcus spent 3 more hours at the library, piecing together a puzzle that made his stomach churn. Every thread he pulled revealed another lie, another betrayal. James's financial records, what he could access through public records and business filings, showed a man in trouble in 2017. Failed investments, gambling debts to the wrong people, a construction business hemorrhaging money. Then suddenly, in October 2017, the same month Marcus was arrested, James's finances stabilized. A large cash infusion from private investors. The amount? $847,000. The exact amount stolen in the robbery Marcus was convicted of. His hands shook as he printed the documents. 8 years in prison for a crime his own brother had committed. 8 years while James played father to Tyler, played husband to Sophia, played the successful businessman with Marcus's life. When he got home, the apartment was empty. A note on the counter. At work, Tyler has after-school program until 5. Dinner in fridge. S. Marcus used the solitude to search more thoroughly. In the bedroom closet, behind winter coats, he found a box. Old photos, letters, mementos. Their wedding album was there, shoved beneath utility bills. But on top were newer photos, James and Sophia at a restaurant, laughing. James teaching Tyler to swim. James with his arm around Sophia at what looked like a company Christmas party. At the bottom of the box, wrapped in tissue paper, Sophia's original wedding ring. The one he'd saved 6 months to buy. Replaced now by something newer, more expensive. A gift from James? In Tyler's room, more evidence. Drawings labeled My Family, stick figures of Mommy, Tyler, and a tall figure labeled Daddy J. A Father's Day card. To the best dad ever, love Tyler. Dated last June. Marcus sat on Tyler's bed, surrounded by the debris of a life built on his destruction. He'd suspected infidelity. He'd suspected lies. But this was conspiracy. This was calculated destruction. His phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Marcus. A woman's voice, nervous. This is Linda Patterson. Linda Chen. Was James's ex-wife. His pulse quickened. Linda, hi. I got your message on Facebook about Tyler. A pause. I think we should talk, but not over the phone. Can you meet me? An hour later, Marcus sat across from Linda in a Starbucks in Naperville. She was pretty in a suburban mom way, nervous energy radiating from every gesture. I didn't know how to contact you before, she started. When you were away. And after, I figured it wasn't my business. But when you messaged about Tyler, you knew he wasn't James's son. She laughed bitterly. James can't have children. We tried for years, test after test. His sperm count is basically 0. That's why I left. I wanted kids, and he couldn't give them to me. The coffee turned to acid in Marcus's stomach. He's sterile. Completely. Some childhood illness, the doctor said. So when I heard Sophia had a baby and James was claiming paternity, she shrugged. I knew it was a lie, but I also knew it wasn't my business anymore. Did you know about James and Sophia before my arrest? Linda stirred her coffee, not meeting his eyes. James was always obsessed with her, even when we were married. He'd talk about her constantly. How perfect she was. How you didn't deserve her. How if he'd met her first. She trailed off. I'm sorry. I should have said something. Why didn't you? Because I was angry. Because I wanted him to hurt like I was hurting. Tears in her eyes now. I didn't know about the robbery. About what he did to you. I swear, Marcus, if I'd known... What else did James say? About me? About Sophia? He said you were controlling. That Sophia was unhappy but too scared to leave. He said... She hesitated. He said he had a plan to save her. To give her the life she deserved. When did he say this? Summer of 2017, right before I filed for divorce. Months before the robbery. Months before his arrest. His brother had been planning this for months. Linda, would you be willing to testify to this? To tell the police? She paled. I have a family now. Kids. I don't want to get involved. James let me rot in prison for 8 years for his crime. He's raising another man's son. He's sleeping with my wife. Ex-wife, technically, Linda said quietly. She filed for divorce 2 years ago. Abandonment. It was granted in absentia. The world tilted. What? You didn't know? Linda pulled out her phone, showed him a county records page. Sophia Chen, divorce granted on grounds of abandonment, January 2023. She's been single for 2 years, which meant every letter professing her faithfulness, every promise to wait, every visit where she'd worn her wedding ring, all lies. I'm sorry, Linda said again. I thought you knew. Marcus left the meeting in a daze. Divorced. He'd been divorced for 2 years, and no one had told him. His lawyer hadn't mentioned it at the parole hearings. Sophia had sat across from him in the visiting room, wedding ring gleaming, and lied to his face. By the time he got back to the apartment, school was out. Tyler was at the kitchen table doing homework while Sophia cooked dinner. Domestic bliss built on his bones. Uncle Marcus! Tyler jumped up, ran to hug him. The affection was genuine, which somehow made it worse. Guess what? I got 100 on my spelling test. That's great, buddy. Marcus ruffled the boy's hair, that auburn hair that proclaimed the lie of his existence. You must have studied hard. Mommy helped me. And Daddy, Uncle James helped too. He's good at spelling. Is he? Marcus met Sophia's eyes over Tyler's head. Uncle James is good at a lot of things. She had the grace to look away. Dinner was torture. Tyler chattered about school, soccer, the upcoming science fair, normal family dinner, except Marcus now knew he was the only one at the table who was actually family. The boy wasn't his nephew. The woman wasn't his wife. Hadn't been for 2 years. James is coming by later, Sophia said as she cleared the plates. To see Tyler. Maybe you two can talk. I'd like that. Marcus smiled. It felt like baring teeth. We have a lot to catch up on. Marcus, she touched his arm. I know this is all strange, difficult, but we're family. All of us. We can make this work. Family! He tested the word. Is that what we are? Of course. But her hand trembled as she loaded the dishwasher. James arrived at 8 after Tyler's bath time. He looked good, prosperous, well-fed, comfortable in his skin. The opposite of how Marcus felt. Brother. James opened his arms for a hug. Marcus accepted it, noting the expensive watch, the designer clothes, all bought with blood money. God, it's good to see you. I'm sorry I didn't visit more, I just... Felt guilty? Marcus suggested. James flinched. Yeah, something like that. They sat in the living room, beers in hand, pretending at normalcy. Tyler bounced between them, excited to have both uncles there. Neither brother corrected him, though Marcus noticed James's discomfort every time Tyler slipped and called him Daddy. Time for bed, baby, Sophia said eventually. Can Uncle Marcus read me a story? Tyler asked. The adults exchanged glances. Sure, James said finally. If he wants to. Marcus followed Tyler to his room, selected a book about dragons. Halfway through, Tyler interrupted. Uncle Marcus, are you going to stay forever? I don't know, buddy. Would you like me to? Yeah, Mommy's happier when you're here. She smiled more today than she has in a long time. What about Uncle James? Does he make her happy? Tyler considered this. Sometimes. But sometimes they fight. About money and stuff. And about you. They fight about me. Mommy wanted to visit you more. Uncle James said it wasn't good for me. They yelled about it last Christmas. Interesting. So there had been some conflict in paradise. When Marcus returned to the living room, James and Sophia were sitting close together on the couch, talking in low voices. They sprang apart when they saw him. "He's asleep," Marcus reported, settling into the armchair across from them. "Sweet kid." "The best," James agreed. Then carefully, "Marcus, we need to talk. About the situation." "The situation?" Marcus kept his voice mild. "You mean my nephew who calls my wife mommy? And you daddy?" "Ex-wife," Sophia said quietly. Marcus turned to her. "Right. When were you planning to mention that? Before or after we slept in the same bed?" "I was going to tell you." "Like you were going to tell me Tyler isn't James's son?" The silence was deafening. James went white. Sophia's hands flew to her mouth. "How did you—" James started. "No? I'm not stupid, brother. Sterile men don't father children." "You talked to Linda." James's voice was flat. "Among others." Marcus leaned back, watching them squirm. "Here's what I think happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sophia here got lonely while I was working long hours. Reconnected with an old flame. Oops, pregnant. Can't claim David Garrison as the father. That would ruin her image. Can't claim me. Timeline doesn't work. So she claims you, James, and you agree. Why?" Neither answered. "Could it be because you needed me out of the picture anyway? Because you had gambling debts to the wrong people? Because you saw an opportunity to take everything I had? My money, my wife, my life." "It wasn't like that," James protested. "No? Then how was it? Did you plant that money in my car before or after you committed the robbery?" "Marcus, please." Sophia was crying now. "It's not what you think." "Then explain it. Make me understand how my brother framed me for armed robbery. How my wife had another man's baby and gave it my brother's name. How you've been playing house for 8 years while I rotted in prison." "I loved you," Sophia sobbed. "I did. But you were never there." "Always working, always focused on the business. David was—" He listened. "He made me feel wanted." "So you slept with him." "Once! It was just once. A mistake. And then I was pregnant, and you were arrested, and everything was falling apart. And James stepped in. My hero brother." "I was trying to help," James said defensively. "Sophia needed support. Tyler needed a father." "Tyler had a father. David Garrison. Why not go to him?" "He was married," Sophia whispered. "His wife was pregnant too. He wanted nothing to do with us. So you stole my life instead." "We didn't mean for it to happen," James insisted. "The feelings. They just developed. Over time. Sophia and I, we fell in love." "Before or after you framed me?" "I didn't frame you." But James couldn't meet his eyes. $847,000, Marcus said quietly. "That's what was stolen in the robbery. That's also exactly what you needed to pay off your debts and save your business. Coincidence?" James's hands were shaking now. "You don't understand. They were going to kill me. The people I owed, they don't play games. I was desperate." "So you robbed an armored truck." "I didn't mean for you to get blamed. But you were sick that day, no alibi. And the witnesses, they really did think it was you. We look alike, similar build." "And the money in my car?" James looked at the floor. "I panicked. I needed somewhere to hide it. I still had your spare key. And when I was arrested, when I was convicted, you could have come forward any time. And go to prison myself? Leave Tyler without a father? He's not your son. He's more mine than yours," James shot back. "I'm the one who's been here. I'm the one who taught him to ride a bike, who coaches his soccer team, who reads him bedtime stories. You're just the uncle who went away." The words hit like physical blows. Because they were true. Biology aside, legality aside, James had been Tyler's father in every way that mattered. "Get out!" Marcus said quietly. Both of you, get out of my apartment. Actually, Sophia said, wiping her tears, it's not your apartment anymore. Your name was taken off the lease years ago. This is my place, mine and Tyler's. Of course it was. Of course they'd thought of everything. Marcus stood. Fine. Chapter 4. The Long Game. Marcus stood in the living room that was no longer his, looking at the brother who'd destroyed him and the woman who'd betrayed him. 8 years of rage crystallized into something colder, more calculating. You're right, he said calmly. This is your home, your life. I'll get a hotel room tonight. James and Sophia exchanged uncertain glances. They'd expected anger, violence maybe, not this quiet acceptance. Marcus, Sophia started. No, you've made your position clear. Tyler sees James as his father. You've built a life together. Who am I to destroy that? He moved toward the bedroom. I'll just pack a few things. You're not going to the police? James followed him, anxiety radiating from every pore. Marcus pulled clothes from drawers, not looking at his brother. What would be the point? It's been 8 years. What evidence do I have beyond the word of a bitter ex-wife? Besides, he paused, meeting James's eyes, Tyler doesn't deserve to lose another father. Relief flooded James's face. Marcus, Thank you. I know I don't deserve... You're right. You don't? Marcus zipped the bag. But this isn't about you. Or me. It's about that little boy. Back in the living room, Sophia was still crying. I'm so sorry, she whispered. For everything. I never meant... I know. Marcus's voice was gentle. We all make mistakes. You fell in love. James was desperate. Things spiraled. I understand. They both stared at him, clearly waiting for the other shoe to drop. I've had 8 years to think, Marcus continued. About revenge, about justice, about what matters. You know what I realized? Hatred is a poison. It eats you alive. I've seen what it does to men in prison. I won't let it consume me. So what will you do? Sophia asked. Start over. Find a job. Maybe go back to school. Build a new life. He shouldered his bag. I'd like to still see Tyler sometimes, if that's okay. As his uncle, nothing more. Of course, James said quickly. He likes you. We want him to know his family. Good. Marcus headed for the door, then turned back. One thing, though. The boy deserves to know the truth someday, about who his real father is, when he's older, when he can understand. Sophia nodded, fresh tears falling. We'll tell him, when the time is right. Thank you. Marcus gave them a sad smile. Take care of each other, and take care of Tyler. He left them standing in the apartment, shell-shocked by his apparent forgiveness. In the hallway, Marcus allowed himself a small, cold smile. They'd bought it. Every word. The hotel room was cheap but clean. Marcus lay on the bed, phone in hand, scrolling through the contacts he'd memorized in prison. 8 years gave a man time to make interesting friends. Drug dealers, con artists, white-collar criminals, Stateville had them all. And Marcus had been a good listener. He found the number he wanted. Roberto Vega, former accountant for a cartel, 18 months into a 5-year sentence when Marcus met him. Smart, meticulous, and most importantly, grateful. Marcus had protected him from the worst of prison violence. Roberto had promised to return the favor someday. Roberto, it's Marcus Chen. I'm out. Yeah, early release. I need your help with something. Financial forensics. That's right, just like we discussed. Next call, Patricia Morse, defense attorney, the one who'd finally believed in his innocence. She'd worked pro bono on his appeal, convinced by inconsistencies in the case. Patricia? I found out who really committed the robbery. My brother? No, I'm not going to do anything stupid, but I need your advice on gathering evidence. Legally, Third call, Danny Kim, a private investigator who'd shared a cell with Marcus for 6 months. Identity theft charges, but the man knew how to find information. Danny, remember that favor you owe me? I need a complete background on someone. David Garrison. Everything. By midnight, Marcus had set his pieces in motion. He wasn't going to destroy James and Sophia with violence or rage. He was going to dismantle their lives methodically, legally, completely. And they'd never see it coming. The next morning, Marcus knocked on the apartment door at 7 a.m. Sophia answered in her robe, Tyler getting ready for school behind her. Uncle Marcus! Tyler ran to hug him. Are you coming back? Just visiting, buddy. Wanted to say good morning. He handed Tyler a bag. And bring you this. Tyler pulled out a book, the next in the Dragon series they'd been reading. Cool, thank you. Marcus, Sophia said carefully, this is unexpected. I thought about what you said, about being family. He gave her a warm smile. Tyler's my nephew, whatever the biology. I don't want to lose that relationship. She relaxed slightly. Of course. Would you like some coffee? Over coffee, Marcus was charming, supportive, understanding. He asked about Tyler's schedule, offered to help with pickup and drop-off. I need to find a job anyway. Might as well make myself useful. That's very generous, Sophia said. I've lost 8 years with him. I don't want to lose any more. By the time he left, Sophia was smiling, relieved. The Marcus she'd feared, angry, vengeful, hadn't materialized. This Marcus was sad but accepting, focused on rebuilding rather than revenge. She had no idea that Roberto Vega was already tracing James's financial records, that Patricia Morse was preparing documentation for a civil suit, that Danny Kim was tracking down David Garrison. Marcus's next stop was James's office. Chen Development occupied the top floor of a gleaming building downtown. The receptionist recognized him, did a double take. Mr. Chen? I mean, the other Mr. Chen? We heard that you were back. Is my brother in? Yes, sir. I'll announce myself. James's office was everything Marcus had once dreamed of. Floor-to-ceiling windows, expensive furniture, awards on the walls, built with blood money. Marcus? James stood up from behind his massive desk. What are you doing here? I want a job. What? You heard me. Marcus settled into a chair uninvited. I need work. You need someone who understands construction, development, the business side. We both know I was always better at the numbers than you. You want to work for me, after everything? I want to work with you, like old times. Marcus leaned forward. Look, James, what's done is done. You have Tyler to think about, a business to run. I have nothing. No money, no prospects, no life. I can hate you and stay bitter, or I can be practical. You owe me. This is how you pay me back. James studied him suspiciously. Just like that? You forgive me? I didn't say I forgive you. I said I'm being practical. You need someone you can trust to watch your back. Someone who knows where the bodies are buried, so to speak. I need income and a way to rebuild my life. It's mutually beneficial. And if I say no, Marcus shrugged, then I figure something else out. But Tyler keeps asking about Uncle Marcus. Be awkward to explain why I'm not around anymore. The threat was subtle but clear. Play along, or I complicate your perfect family narrative. Fine, James said finally. You can start Monday, assistant project manager. We'll see how it goes. Perfect. Marcus stood, extended his hand. Partners again. James shook reluctantly. His palm was sweaty. That afternoon, Marcus met Patricia Morse at a coffee shop near the courthouse. Your brother essentially confessed, she said, reviewing her notes. But without a recording, it's hearsay. We need more. I'll get it. He's arrogant now, comfortable. He'll slip up. Be careful. Illinois is a two-party consent state for recordings, unless you're in a public place with no expectation of privacy. What about the financial evidence? Roberto is good. He's already found discrepancies in your brother's books. Shell companies, money laundering, tax evasion. The robbery money had to be cleaned somehow. And David Garrison? Patricia smiled grimly. Danny found him. Married, 2 kids, owns a medical supply company. Does regular business with Sophia's clinic. So he's been in contact with her all along. Looks like it. Monthly visits to the clinic for the past 7 years. Always when Tyler's at school. Marcus felt the pieces clicking together. He's been seeing his son. Secretly. That's what we figure. Man wants no official involvement, but can't stay away entirely. Can we prove Tyler is his? Not without a DNA test, but Danny's working on getting something with David's DNA. Coffee cup, cigarette butt, something we can compare if needed. Good. Marcus stirred his coffee thoughtfully. What about the divorce? Fraudulent. You were never properly served. Any decent lawyer can get it overturned, especially since she claimed abandonment while you were wrongfully incarcerated. Do it. I want my wife back. At Patricia's look, he clarified, legally. Michigan is a community property state. Half of everything acquired during the marriage is mine. Including her relationship with your brother's business? Especially that. Patricia grinned. You're playing a long game. 8 years in prison teaches patience. They took everything from me. I'm going to take it back. Legally. Methodically. Until they have nothing left. And Tyler? Marcus's expression softened. He's innocent in all this. Whatever happens, I'll make sure he's protected. College fund, therapy, whatever he needs. But his parents are going to learn what it costs to steal someone's life. Marcus started work at Chen Development on Monday. James gave him a small office, a stack of files, and clear instructions to stay out of the way. Perfect. It gave Marcus access to everything he needed. Within a week, he'd identified 3 sets of cooked books. One for the IRS, one for investors, and one that showed the real numbers. Roberto had been right. The robbery money had been laundered through a series of property flips and shell companies. You're good at this, Agnes, the office manager, commented. Better than James, honestly. He's more of a big-picture guy. I had a good teacher, Marcus replied. Their father had taught them both the business, but Marcus had always been the one who understood the details. It's nice having both Chen brothers here. Like old times, James says. Did he talk about me much? When I was away? Agnes shifted uncomfortably. Sometimes. Mostly about how guilty he felt. Not visiting more, I mean. Guilt's a funny thing, Marcus agreed. Eats at you if you let it. He made copies of everything. Patricia said they needed a clear paper trail, evidence that would hold up in court. Every fraudulent transaction, every laundered dollar, every tax dodge. Marcus documented it all. At home, the hotel was home now, he reviewed Tyler's schedule. Soccer practice Tuesday and Thursday. Games on Saturday. School play coming up in 3 weeks. Marcus made note of everything. I can pick Tyler up from practice, he offered Sophia one morning. Save you a trip. She hesitated. That's kind of you, but Sophia. He touched her hand gently. I'm not trying to confuse him or undermine anything. I just want to be the best uncle I can be. The way things should have been if I hadn't been away. Okay, she said finally. He'd like that. So Marcus became a fixture in Tyler's life. The cool uncle who knew soccer tricks, who helped with homework, who never missed a game. Tyler blossomed under the attention, constantly chattering about Uncle Marcus to anyone who'd listen. He's so good with him, Sophia told James one evening. Marcus knew because he'd bugged their apartment. Simple device from Danny Kim, planted during one of his visits. Illinois might be two-party consent for recordings, but Marcus figured he was owed a little illegal surveillance after 8 years of wrongful imprisonment. Too good, James replied. It's not natural. He's planning something. You're paranoid. He's just trying to rebuild his life. By working for me? By playing Uncle of the Year? Come on, Sophia. You know Marcus. He doesn't forgive. People change. Prison changes them. Yeah, it makes them harder, more dangerous. Or it makes them realize what's really important. Family, connection, second chances. James snorted. You want to believe that because it makes you feel less guilty. I feel guilty every day. Sophia's voice rose. Every time I look at Tyler, every time I see Marcus being so kind despite everything we did what we had to do. You committed armed robbery. You framed your own brother to save my life, to protect you and Tyler, to protect yourself. Don't pretend this was noble. Their fight continued, but Marcus had heard enough. Cracks in the foundation. Good. 3 weeks into his new life, Marcus made his next move. He approached David Garrison at his office. Mr. Garrison? Marcus Chen. I believe you know my ex-wife, Sophia. David went pale. I don't know what you're talking about. Green eyes, Marcus said conversationally. Funny thing, neither Sophia nor I have green eyes. Neither does my brother James, but you do. If you're implying, I'm not implying anything. I'm stating a fact. Tyler is your son. David's hands clenched. What do you want? Just to talk, father to father. Well, uncle to father. Marcus smiled. Buy me a coffee? They went to a public place, Patricia's advice echoing in his head. No expectation of privacy in a busy Starbucks. I haven't had anything to do with them, David insisted. When Sophia told me she was pregnant, I made it clear that your wife was pregnant too, that you couldn't leave her, that Sophia was on her own. It was a mistake. One night, we were both drunk at the reunion. I'm not judging. People make mistakes. Marcus sipped his coffee. But Tyler didn't ask to be born. He didn't ask to be lied to about who his father is. James is his father, in every way that matters. Except biologically. Except legally. Marcus pulled out his phone, showed David a photo of Tyler at soccer practice. He's got your eyes, your hair, your build. Kid's probably going to be tall like you, not short like us Chen men. David stared at the photo with naked longing. You see him, don't you? Marcus pressed. When you visit the clinic, you watch him from afar. How did you... David stopped. What do you want? I want the truth. On record. A paternity test to confirm what we both know. Absolutely not. I have a family. So does Tyler. A fake one, built on lies. Don't you think he deserves to know where he really comes from? My wife would leave me. My kids... Your other kids. Tyler's your son, too. David slumped. Why are you doing this? Because my brother stole 8 years of my life. Because my wife betrayed me with you, then divorced me while I was in prison. Because they're raising your son as their own, lying to everyone including the boy. Someone needs to tell the truth. And if I refuse... Marcus shrugged. Then I guess I mentioned to your wife about your monthly visits to a certain medical clinic, about how you can't seem to stay away from your ex-girlfriend and the son you abandoned. That's blackmail. That's consequences. Marcus stood. Think about it. You know how to reach me. He left David staring at his coffee, shoulders bowed under the weight of 7 years of guilt. Saturday arrived with perfect soccer weather. Marcus arrived early to Tyler's game, helped set up the field. James showed up just before kickoff, Sophia beside him. The perfect family. Uncle Marcus! Tyler ran over in his uniform. You came! Wouldn't miss it, buddy. You ready to show them what you've got? Yeah. Coach says I might get to play forward today. As Tyler ran back to his team, James approached. You're here early. Wanted to help set up. Team effort, right? Right. James's smile was strained. Marcus, can we talk? Privately? They moved away from the other parents. Marcus noticed Sophia watching them nervously. What's this about? Marcus asked innocently. David Garrison called me. Said you approached him. Did he? Small world. What are you playing at? I'm not playing anything. Man has a right to know his son exists. Tyler is my son. On paper. But we both know the truth. James grabbed his arm. Leave it alone, Marcus. I'm warning you. Or what? You'll frame me for another crime? Marcus kept his voice light, aware of the parents nearby. Relax, brother. I'm just encouraging a man to take responsibility, something you should understand. If you think you can waltz in here and destroy what we've built— What you built on my life, you mean? Marcus smiled coldly. Watch the game, James. Your son's about to score. He walked away, leaving James fuming. On the field, Tyler had stolen the ball, was racing toward the goal. Marcus cheered with the other parents as Tyler scored, the boy's face lighting up with joy. This was what James had stolen from him. Not just Sophia, not just his freedom, but moments like this, the chance to watch a child grow, to be part of a family, to build something real. But Marcus was patient. He'd waited 8 years. He could wait a little longer. The foundations were cracking. Soon, the whole house of cards would fall. Chapter 5. The collapse Roberto Vega's email arrived at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. Found it, the smoking gun. Marcus read through the attached documents in his hotel room, heart racing. Roberto had traced the robbery money through a maze of transactions, but one deposit stood out. $50,000 wired to an account in Sophia's name 2 days after the robbery. The account was closed now, but Roberto had found the records. Your wife was paid off, Roberto wrote. This wasn't just your brother. They were in it together from the start. Marcus stared at the screen, feeling something cold crystallize in his chest. He'd suspected Sophia of infidelity, of weakness, of poor judgment. But active conspiracy? She'd taken money to stay quiet while he rotted in prison? He called Patricia immediately. We need to move faster. They're both culpable. Marcus, it's 2 a.m. I know, but we need to file papers before they realize what's happening. The divorce challenge, the civil suit, everything. What's changed? Sophia was paid off. 50 grand to keep quiet about the frame-up. Patricia whistled low. That changes things. That's conspiracy. That's criminal. Can we prove it? With Roberto's documentation? Maybe. Give me 48 hours to prepare everything. Marcus hung up and paced his small room. 2 more days of pretending. 2 more days of being good Uncle Marcus, while rage ate him alive. Wednesday at the office, Agnes mentioned that James was meeting with his accountant. Quarterly taxes, she said. He always gets nervous around tax time. He should, Marcus thought. He'd found enough tax fraud to put James away for decades. Marcus waited until James left, then accessed the main computer. He'd watched James enter his password weeks ago. Tyler's birthday. How touching. The system opened up like a flower. He'd downloaded everything. Every financial record, every email, every contract. Terabytes of data flowing onto encrypted drives. Evidence of crimes going back years, all stemming from that first desperate robbery. Working late? Marcus spun around. Sophia stood in the doorway, holding takeout bags. Just finishing up some reports. He closed the laptop casually. What brings you here? James forgot his dinner. Tyler's at practice with his friend Miguel's family, so I thought. She shrugged. You haven't eaten either, have you? Not yet. Join me? There's plenty. They ate in James's office, city lights twinkling below. Sophia seemed nervous, picking at her food. Marcus, can I ask you something? Sure. Do you hate me? He set down his chopsticks. What makes you ask that? You're so kind. So understanding. It doesn't feel real if someone did to me what I did to you. What did you do to me exactly? She flinched. I betrayed you. With David. Got pregnant. Let you go to prison thinking I was faithful. Is that all? Something flickered in her eyes. What do you mean? I mean, is that the extent of your betrayal? An affair and a pregnancy? Isn't that enough? Marcus studied her. Even now, even knowing what she'd done, she was beautiful. The girl he'd fallen in love with at 22 was still there, buried under years of lies. Did you know? He asked quietly. When James framed me, did you know? No! The denial came too quick, too forceful. I mean, not at first. Not until he paid you to keep quiet? The color drained from her face. How did you... $50,000, 2 days after the robbery, deposited into an account in your name. Marcus, I can explain. Please do. Tears streamed down her face. I had just found out I was pregnant. David wanted nothing to do with us. I was scared, alone. Then you were arrested. And James. He said he could help. Said he had money coming in. That he'd take care of everything if I supported his story. That I was guilty. He said the evidence was overwhelming. That you'd be convicted anyway. That at least this way, Tyler and I would be provided for. So you took the money. I took the money. Her voice was barely a whisper. And I've regretted it every day since. But not enough to tell the truth. How could I? By then, Tyler was born. James was all we had. If I admitted what I knew, she wiped her eyes. I told myself it was for Tyler. Everything was for Tyler. And falling in love with James? Was that for Tyler too? That was loneliness, gratitude, proximity. He was there when you couldn't be. When I couldn't be because he put me in prison. Yes. The word hung between them like a blade. Marcus stood, walked to the window. Does David know Tyler is his? He's always known. I told him when I found out I was pregnant. He made it clear he wanted no involvement. But he sees Tyler anyway, at the clinic. Once a month, he brings supplies, times it so he can watch Tyler in the waiting room. Tyler doesn't know who he is. And you're okay with that? Your son's father treating him like a stranger? What choice do I have? David has his own family. James has been Tyler's father in every way that matters. Built on a lie. Built on love. She stood too, faced him. Whatever else James has done, he loves Tyler. And Tyler loves him. Love based on deception isn't love. It's manipulation. Says the man who's been playing us all for weeks. Her tears had stopped, replaced by anger. Did you think I couldn't tell? The perfect uncle act, the forgiveness, the job here. You're planning something. James is right about that. Yes, Marcus admitted. I am. Revenge? Justice. Is there a difference? One is emotional, the other is necessary. He turned from the window. In 48 hours, papers will be filed. Criminal charges against James for the robbery and fraud. Against you for conspiracy. Civil suits for damages. Challenges to the divorce. Marcus, please. David will acknowledge paternity of Tyler. The truth will come out. All of it. You'll destroy Tyler's life. You destroyed mine. Fair's fair. He's 7 years old. I was innocent. That didn't stop you. Sophia sank into a chair. What do you want? Money? The business? What will it take to make this stop? I wanted my life back, my wife back, my future back. But those are gone forever, aren't they? 8 years, Sophia. Do you know what 8 years in maximum security does to a man? I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back my 20s. Sorry doesn't erase the beatings, the isolation, the days I thought about ending it all because I couldn't bear being caged for something I didn't do. If I could take it back. But you can't. So now you'll lose everything, the way I did. James will go to prison. You'll face charges. Tyler will learn his whole life is a lie, and I'll make sure he knows exactly who's responsible. You said you'd protect him. From poverty, yes. I've set up a trust fund. He'll never want for anything material. But the truth? He deserves that. Sophia buried her face in her hands. He'll hate us. Probably. Is that what you want? A little boy's hatred? I want him to know who he is, where he comes from. That's more than you ever gave him. Please, Marcus. I'll do anything. Leave with Tyler, disappear, never bother you again. Running away? Like David? Like you tried to do with my life? Marcus shook his head. No. Face the consequences. The way I had to. A key turned in the lock. James entered, stopping short when he saw them. What's going on? Your wife was just explaining how you paid her $50,000 to keep quiet about framing me, Marcus said conversationally. James went very still. Sophia. He knows, she whispered. He knows everything. I don't know what you think you know, James started. Save it. Marcus pulled out his phone, showed them the bank records. Roberto Vega sends his regards, by the way. Fascinating what a forensic accountant can find when properly motivated. That money was a loan. To a woman whose husband had just been arrested? From accounts linked to the robbery? Try again. James straightened. You can't prove anything. I can prove you were bankrupt before the robbery. I can prove $847,000 appeared in your accounts immediately after. I can prove you laundered it through property deals. I can prove tax evasion, fraud, conspiracy. Oh, and Linda says hi. She's happy to testify about your sterility. You've been busy, James said coldly. 8 years of planning. Amazing what you can accomplish with time and motivation. So, what now? You turn us in? Send Tyler's parents to prison? Make him an orphan? David Garrison is his parent. You're just the uncle who stole his father's life. I'm the only father he's ever known. Based on a lie. Based on being there. Every day, every moment, every scraped knee and nightmare and soccer goal. That's what makes a father. No, that's what makes a good uncle. Which is what you could have been if you hadn't been so greedy. James stepped forward, fists clenched. You want to hit me? Go ahead. I hear you developed quite a temper in prison. He's baiting you, Sophia warned. Marcus smiled. I know. James always was predictable. It's how I knew he'd rob that armored truck. Same route he took to his gambling games. Same time he always needed cash. You knew? James froze. I suspected. You were desperate, talking about one big score to fix everything. I just didn't think you'd frame me for it. I didn't mean to. Yes, you did. You took the money to my car. You made sure witnesses saw someone my size. You destroyed the alibi evidence that would have cleared me. What alibi evidence? Sophia asked. Security footage from our building, Marcus said. Showing me entering at 9 a.m., sick as a dog, not leaving until Sophia came home. James had it erased. How do you know that? James demanded. The security guard, Terrell Washington. Remember him? He went to prison too, few years after me. We had some interesting conversations about you paying him to lose that footage. James's face had gone gray. Terrell's dead. Died in prison last year. But his written confession isn't. Signed, notarized, very detailed. Marcus pulled out a document. Patricia Morse is thorough. This is extortion, James said. This is justice. Marcus gathered his things. You have 48 hours before the papers are filed. Get your affairs in order. Find Tyler a good therapist. He'll need it. Marcus, wait. Sophia grabbed his arm. There has to be another way. Some deal. There was 8 years ago. You could have told the truth. He shook her off. 48 hours. He left them in the office, clinging to each other. The perfect couple, about to lose everything. Thursday morning, Marcus's phone rang at 6 a.m. David Garrison. "I'll take the test," David said without preamble. "The paternity test. But I have conditions. I'm listening. My wife doesn't find out. My other kids don't find out. I'll acknowledge Tyler privately, set up a college fund, whatever. But publicly, nothing changes. Tyler deserves to know his father. When he's 18. When he can understand. Not now." Marcus considered. "And in exchange? I'll testify. About the affair. About Sophia telling me James couldn't be the father. About seeing them together while you were in prison. Whatever you need to nail them." Why the change of heart? A long pause. "My daughter asked me yesterday why I look sad sometimes when I come home from work. I realized it's the days I see Tyler. The days I watch my son call another man daddy because I was too much of a coward to claim him. So claim him now." "I can't, but I can at least stop letting them profit from my cowardice. And yours. Deal. Patricia will contact you about the test." Marcus hung up and stared at the ceiling. Another piece in place. Another move toward checkmate. His phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. "This is Sophia, please. Meet me at Lincoln Park. Noon. Just me. We need to talk." He almost ignored it, but curiosity won. What last play did she have? Lincoln Park was busy with lunch-hour joggers and dog walkers. Sophia sat on a bench near the pond, feeding ducks with mechanical movements. She looked like she hadn't slept. "Thank you for coming," she said as he sat down. "You have 30 minutes. I need more than that to explain 8 years. You had 8 years to explain. You chose silence." She scattered more bread. The ducks fought over it, aggressive in their hunger. "I was 26 when you were arrested," she began. "Pregnant, terrified, alone. My husband was going to prison for 25 to life. The father of my baby wanted nothing to do with us. I had no money, no family except James." "My family." "Yes, your family. Who should have helped you but helped me instead?" She turned to face him. "Do you want to know the whole truth? All of it? If you're capable of truth." "James came to me the night you were arrested. Said he knew about David, about the pregnancy. Said he could fix everything if I cooperated. By lying. By surviving. He promised to take care of Tyler and me. To give us the life you'd wanted to give us. All I had to do was support his version of events. That I was guilty. That you were troubled, stressed about money, acting erratically, just enough doubt to explain why a good man might do something desperate. And you agreed." "I was scared. Pregnant and scared and alone, so yes, I agreed. I took his money. I played the loyal wife standing by her guilty husband. I let him step into your shoes." "When did you start sleeping with him?" She flinched. 2 years in. Tyler was walking, talking, calling him Uncle Jamie. James was always there. Birthdays, holidays, bedtime stories. Everything you should have been doing. Everything I couldn't do because he put you there. I know." Tears again. She seemed to have an endless supply. But knowing and accepting are different things. It was easier to pretend you were guilty. That you'd chosen crime over us. That we were building something good from something bad. Easier for who? For me. For my conscience. If you were guilty, then I wasn't a monster for moving on. But I wasn't guilty. No. And deep down, I knew that. You were many things, Marcus, but never violent. Never criminal. She wiped her eyes. I think that's why I kept visiting at first. Hoping you'd confess, give me permission to hate you. Instead, I maintained my innocence. Every single time. She laughed bitterly. Do you know how hard it is to look at someone proclaiming their innocence when you know they're right? When you're part of why they're there? Yes, Marcus said quietly. I do know, because I lived it. I'm so sorry. Stop. Just stop. He watched the ducks fight over the last crumbs. What do you want, Sophia? Why are we here? To beg. To offer you everything if you'll just leave Tyler out of it. Everything? The divorce was fraudulent. We both know that. Legally, I'm still your wife. Half of everything is yours. The apartment, the savings, my part of James's business. Take it all. And James. Turn him in. He deserves it. But let Tyler keep believing James is his father. Let him keep the only stability he's ever known. You'd sacrifice James? I'd sacrifice myself if I could, but Tyler needs at least one parent out of prison. Marcus studied her. You know what the saddest part is? I loved you. Really loved you. Would have forgiven the affair with David, worked through it. We could have raised Tyler together. I know. But you chose James, chose money, chose lies. I chose survival. No. Survival would have been food stamps and struggle and truth. You chose comfort built on my destruction. Yes. She met his eyes. I did. And I'll pay for that forever. But Tyler doesn't deserve to pay too. David's agreed to a paternity test. She went white. Marcus. Tyler will learn the truth. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Because lies always surface, Sophia. Always. When he's older, when he's old enough to understand how thoroughly he's been betrayed, how his whole life is fiction, you think that will hurt less? I think it will hurt differently. Less devastating, more philosophical. Philosophical. Is that what you tell yourself? It's what I hope. Marcus stood. 48 hours, Sophia. That hasn't changed. The money. Keep it. Tyler will need it when both his parents are in prison. Both? You took $50,000 in blood money. You participated in conspiracy. You think you'll walk free? But Tyler has a biological father who's finally ready to step up, and an uncle who'll make sure he's provided for. He'll survive, the way I survived. This isn't justice, Marcus. This is revenge. Sometimes they're the same thing. He walked away, leaving her on the bench. Behind him, he heard her sobbing. Real tears this time, not manipulation. The sound followed him all the way back to his car. That evening, Marcus attended Tyler's school play. The second-grade class was performing The Three Little Pigs. Tyler was the wolf, hamming it up with enthusiasm. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. The audience laughed. Marcus sat in the back, watching James and Sophia in the front row. The perfect parents, recording every moment. In 36 hours, their house of straw would collapse. After the play, Tyler bounded over. Uncle Marcus, did you see? I remembered all my lines. You were fantastic, buddy. Best wolf I've ever seen. Better than the movie? Way better. James approached, Sophia hanging back. Thanks for coming. It means a lot to Tyler. Wouldn't miss it. Marcus. James lowered his voice. Is there any chance we can work this out? Some deal? You had 8 years to make a deal, to come forward, to tell the truth. I was scared. So was I. Every day, every night. Scared of the other inmates. Scared of the guards. Scared I'd die in there for something I didn't do. I'm sorry. No, you're scared. There's a difference. Tyler ran back over. Can Uncle Marcus come for ice cream? James and Sophia exchanged glances. Of course, Sophia said. If he wants to. They went to Tyler's favorite place, a bright shop with 50 flavors. Tyler got chocolate chip cookie dough. The adults pretended to eat, tension thick between them. This is nice, Tyler announced. All of us together, like a real family. We are a real family, Sophia said quickly. But different, Tyler continued. Miguel has just a mom and dad. I have a mom and dad and Uncle Marcus. That's extra family. Yes, Marcus agreed. Extra family. Will you always be here now? Tyler asked him. Mom said you had to go away before, but now you're back. I'll always be here for you, buddy, no matter what. Promise. Promise. Tyler beamed and attacked his ice cream. The adult sat in silence, the weight of coming revelations crushing conversation. When they parted in the parking lot, Tyler hugged Marcus tight. Love you, Uncle Marcus. Love you too, buddy. As they drove away, Marcus saw Tyler in the back seat, waving until they turned the corner. In 36 hours, that little boy's world would shatter. But Marcus had learned something in prison. Sometimes things needed to be broken before they could be rebuilt properly. The truth would hurt. But lies hurt worse in the end. Justice was coming. Finally. Chapter 6. Truth and Consequences. Friday morning arrived gray and drizzling. Pathetic fallacy, Marcus thought, as he met Patricia at her office. She had everything ready. Criminal complaints, civil suits, documentation that would destroy the house of cards James and Sophia had built. Once I file these, there's no going back, Patricia warned. Are you sure? 8 years sure. The prosecutor will want your testimony. You'll have to relive everything. I've been reliving it every day since I got out. Patricia nodded. There's one more thing. David Garrison came in this morning. Did the DNA test. Also signed an affidavit about his relationship with Sophia. And he wants to meet Tyler. After everything comes out, he wants to be part of his son's life. Marcus felt a strange mix of satisfaction and sorrow. Better late than never, I suppose. Marcus. Patricia set down her pen. I've seen a lot of revenge cases. They rarely end how people think they will. The satisfaction is usually less than the cost. This isn't about satisfaction. It's about balance. They took 8 years from me. They built a life on my destruction. That has to mean something. It does. But Tyler will survive. Kids are resilient. Better he learn the truth at 7 than 17. Patricia gathered the papers. I'll file at noon. Give you a few more hours if you want to warn them. No warnings. They had 8 years of warnings. At 10 a.m., Marcus's phone rang. Tyler's school. Mr. Chen? This is Principal Morrison. There's been an incident. Tyler's very upset, asking for you. For me? Not his parents? He specifically asked for Uncle Marcus. Could you come? Marcus found Tyler in the nurse's office, curled on the cot. His face was blotchy from crying. Hey, buddy, what happened? Tyler launched himself into Marcus's arms. Kids were talking about their dads. Miguel said his dad was a doctor. Emma said her dad was a pilot. I said my dad sold buildings. That's right. Uncle James does sell buildings. But then Emma said he wasn't my real dad. Said I don't look like him. Said I must be adopted. Marcus's heart clenched. Children could be accidentally cruel in their observations. What did you say? I said she was lying. But then I thought about it. I don't look like Daddy or you. You both have dark hair and brown eyes like Grandma's pictures. I look like... Like who, buddy? Like nobody. I'm different. Am I adopted, Uncle Marcus? The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Marcus could lie, perpetuate the fiction for a few more hours. Or, Tyler, there's something called genetics. It's how we get our looks from our parents. Sometimes it's complicated. But am I adopted? No. Sophia is definitely your mom. And Daddy. Marcus chose his words carefully. The man who raises you, who loves you, who takes care of you, that's your dad. James has been that for you. But is he my real dad? My biological dad? 7 years old and already too smart for comfortable lies. That's something you should talk to your mom and dad about. Tyler pulled back. studied Marcus's face with those green eyes that belonged to neither Chen brother. You know something. You know the truth. I know that you're loved. That's the most important truth. Kids who are loved don't get lied to. The wisdom of children. Marcus hugged him tighter. Sometimes adults lie because they think it protects kids. It's wrong, but it comes from love. Did mom and dad lie to me? You need to ask them that. Will you come with me when I ask? If you want me to, I want you to. Marcus called Sophia. You need to come to school, both of you. Tyler has questions. What kind of questions? Her voice was sharp with panic. The kind that need honest answers. 20 minutes later, James and Sophia arrived together. They found Marcus and Tyler in the principal's conference room, Tyler still clinging to his uncle. Baby, what's wrong? Sophia reached for him. Tyler shrank back. Am I adopted? The adults froze. Tyler, why would you? James started. Because I don't look like you. Because Emma said I can't be your real son. Tyler's voice rose. Because Uncle Marcus says I should ask you for the truth. Sophia shot Marcus a venomous look. You had no right. He asked me directly. I won't lie to him. Tyler, honey, James knelt beside him. You're my son. I've raised you, loved you, been your daddy every day of your life. But are you my biological dad? The word hung in the air. A 7-year-old shouldn't know terms like biological dad. But Tyler lived in a world of blended families and complicated relationships. James looked at Sophia, helpless. She closed her eyes. No, she whispered. He's not. Tyler's world visibly shattered. You lied to me? We were trying to protect you. From what? From knowing who I am? Tears streamed down his face. Who's my real dad? James is your real dad, Sophia insisted. He's been here. Who's my biological dad? Tyler screamed. A man named David Garrison, Marcus said quietly. Your mom knew him before she married me. Marcus, Sophia turned on him. He deserves the truth. All of it. This isn't your call. 8 years ago, you made it my call when you let me go to prison for James's crime, when you took money to keep quiet, when you built this lie on my life. What's he talking about? Tyler looked between the adults. What crime? James stood slowly. Tyler, this is adult stuff. I'm not a baby. Stop lying to me! Your Uncle Marcus went to prison, Sophia said carefully, for something he didn't do. It was complicated. Did Daddy do it? The truth has momentum. Once it starts, it's hard to stop. Yes, Marcus said. He did. Marcus! Both James and Sophia shouted. I robbed a store, James said quickly. Before you were born. I was in trouble, needed money. I made a terrible mistake. And Uncle Marcus went to prison for it? The police made a mistake. No, Marcus interrupted. James let them make a mistake. He could have confessed. He chose not to. Tyler looked at James with horror. You let Uncle Marcus go to jail? For something you did? It's complicated. It's not complicated. Tyler pulled away from all of them. You're bad. You're a bad person. And Mom knew? Tyler, please. You all lied. About everything. About who my dad is. About Uncle Marcus. About everything. He was sobbing now, the devastating sobs of a child whose world no longer made sense. This is what you wanted? Sophia snarled at Marcus. To destroy a 7-year-old? I wanted justice. Tyler's just collateral damage. The way I was. He's a child. I was innocent. That didn't stop you. Stop it! Tyler screamed. Stop fighting! I hate you! I hate all of you! He ran from the room. Sophia ran after him, leaving the brothers alone. Satisfied? James asked coldly. Getting there. Patricia files the papers at noon. You're really going through with it. Did you really think I wouldn't? James slumped in a chair. I don't know what I hoped. That prison had changed you, made you softer. Prison made me patient, not soft. What happens to Tyler now? David wants to meet him, be part of his life. David's a coward who abandoned him. So were you, in a way. You abandoned your integrity, your brother, your humanity. I was desperate. So was I. For 8 years. But I never broke. Never confessed to something I didn't do. Never gave up fighting for the truth. The truth! James laughed bitterly. Look what your truth accomplished. A 7-year-old who hates everyone he loves. He'll heal. With therapy, time, honesty. Things I never got. You're going to destroy his life to salve your pride. You destroyed my life to save your skin. Which is worse? Sophia returned, Tyler not with her. He locked himself in the bathroom. Won't come out. Let me try, Marcus offered. Haven't you done enough? She spat. Let him try, James said tiredly. What's left to lose? Marcus found Tyler in the nurse's bathroom, could hear him crying behind the locked door. Tyler, it's Uncle Marcus. Can we talk? Go away! I know you're hurt, confused, angry. I said go away! When I was in prison, I felt like that every day. Like the whole world had lied to me. Like nothing made sense anymore. Silence. You know what helped? Deciding that even if everyone else lied, I wouldn't. Not to myself. Not to others. The truth hurt, but it was clean. It was real. The truth is stupid, Tyler's voice was muffled. I wish I didn't know. I know, but you can't unknow it now. So the question is, what do you do with it? I don't know. Can I tell you what I did? A pause. Okay. I decided that other people's lies didn't define me. James letting me go to prison. That was his choice, his sin, not mine. Your mom keeping secrets. Her choice, not yours. But I'm the one who feels bad. Because you have a good heart. It hurts when people we love disappoint us. Do you hate them? Mom and Dad? Marcus considered lying, then remembered his own words. Sometimes, but hate is heavy. It's hard to carry for long. What's going to happen now? I don't know. Things will change, but change isn't always bad. Will Dad go to jail? Like you did? Maybe. Will Mom? I don't know. Will you take care of me? If they both go away? Marcus's throat tightened. If you need me to. But you also have another father. Your biological one. He wants to meet you. What's he like? I don't know him well, but he has your eyes, your hair. He's been watching you from far away, wishing he could know you. Why didn't he? He was scared, made wrong choices, like all of us. The lock clicked. Tyler opened the door, face swollen from crying. I don't want everything to change. I know, buddy. Change is scary. But it's going to anyway, isn't it? Yes. Tyler stepped out, let Marcus hug him. Will you stay with me, no matter what? No matter what. Promise? Real promise, not grown-up lies promise? Real promise. No lies. They returned to find Principal Morrison with James and Sophia. I think Tyler should go home for the day, the principal suggested. This is a lot to process. Who's home? Tyler asked. Mom's, Dad's, Uncle Marcus's, my real dad's? Where do I belong now? It was the question none of them could answer. They went to Sophia's apartment, an awkward caravan of shattered family. Tyler retreated to his room. The adults sat in the living room, the weight of revelation crushing them all. The papers will be filed in an hour, Marcus said. After that, it's out of my hands. Please, Sophia begged. We can work something out. For Tyler. You had 8 years to work something out. You chose silence. Marcus's phone rang. Patricia. Marcus, you need to know. The prosecutor's moving fast. They want James in custody today. Someone should prepare Tyler. He hung up. James, they're coming for you. Today. James went white. Today? But, Tyler, you should talk to him. Tell him what's happening. The truth this time. How do I tell my son I'm going to prison? He's not your son, Marcus reminded him. And you tell him the same way I had to learn it. Suddenly, brutally, without warning. This is cruel, Sophia said. This is consequences. James stood on shaking legs. I'll talk to him. He went to Tyler's room. Through the door, they could hear muffled voices. Tyler's getting higher, more frantic. Then silence. James emerged, tears on his face. He won't look at me. How does it feel? Marcus asked. To have someone you love turn away? To be helpless to fix it? You've made your point. Have I? Because I had 8 years of Tyler not knowing I existed while you played daddy. 8 years of missing everything. First words, first steps, first day of school. You stole that. I gave him a good life. Built on my destruction. The door buzzed. Police. James Chen? We have a warrant for your arrest. Tyler came out of his room, saw the officers. No, you can't take him! Despite everything, Tyler ran to James, clung to him. I'm sorry I said I hated you. I didn't mean it. Don't go. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. James was crying. I have to go with them, but I love you. No matter what, I love you. This is because of what you did to Uncle Marcus? Yes. Then I'm sorry. Uncle Marcus, tell them you forgive him. Make them stop. I can't, Tyler. Some things can't be undone. Please. But the officers were already cuffing James, reading him his rights. Tyler watched, horrified, as the man he'd called father was led away. Why? Tyler turned on Marcus. Why did you do this? Because it was right. Right. You broke everything. You broke my whole life. I fixed the lie your life was built on. I liked the lie better. He ran back to his room, slammed the door. Sophia stood frozen, watching her world collapse. You did this, she said quietly. You destroyed a little boy to get your revenge. You destroyed me to build your comfort. We're even. We'll never be even. You had 8 years of pain. Tyler has a lifetime ahead. He has truth. That's more than I got. Truth. She spat the word. Your precious truth. Was it worth it? Was destroying a 7-year-old worth your vindication? Marcus looked toward Tyler's room, heard the muffled sobs. For the first time since his release, doubt crept in. He'll understand when he's older. Will he? Or will he just remember the day Uncle Marcus destroyed his family? I gave him honesty. You gave him trauma. And you call it justice. She walked to Tyler's room, knocked softly. Baby? Can I come in? Is Uncle Marcus still there? Yes. Then no, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see any of you. I want my dad back. Which dad, baby? The one who loved me, even if it was a lie. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. He'd been so focused on justice, on truth, on revenge. He'd forgotten that sometimes lies were kinder than truth. That 7-year-olds needed stability more than honesty. What had he done? But it was too late now. The truth was out, spreading like wildfire. James was in custody. The papers were filed. The machinery of justice was in motion. Marcus left the apartment, Tyler's sobs following him. In the hallway, he met David Garrison coming up. I heard what happened, David said. Sophia called. Is it true? James was arrested? Yes. And Tyler knows? About me? Yes. David's face was a mix of fear and hope. How is he? Destroyed. You might want to wait. I've waited 7 years. I'm done waiting. David pushed past him. Marcus heard him knock, heard Sophia's surprised voice, heard Tyler ask who was there. Someone who wants to meet you, Sophia said. Your, your biological father. I don't want another dad, Tyler screamed. I want my real dad back! Marcus fled. Down the stairs, into the street, away from the chaos he'd created. He'd gotten his revenge, his justice, his truth. So why did it feel like he'd lost? The call came at midnight. Sophia. He won't stop crying, she said without preamble. It's been hours. He made himself sick. This is what you wanted? Where's David? Gone. Tyler wouldn't even look at him. 7 years of absence can't be fixed in an afternoon. He'll come around. Will he? Or will he just learn that fathers leave? That love is conditional? That truth is worse than lies. Sophia. I hope you're satisfied, Marcus. I hope your 8 years of planning was worth destroying a child. Because that's what you did today. You broke a little boy because you couldn't stand being broken yourself. She hung up. Marcus lay in his hotel bed, staring at the ceiling. In prison, he'd dreamed of this day. Justice served. Truth revealed. The guilty punished. He hadn't dreamed of Tyler's sobs, hadn't imagined the devastation on a 7-year-old's face, hadn't considered that perhaps some lies were acts of love, some truths acts of cruelty. What had he done? But more importantly, what would he do now? Chapter 7. Rebuilding 3 weeks past. Marcus threw himself into documenting evidence for the prosecutors, but Tyler's sobs echoed in his dreams. He hadn't seen the boy since that terrible day. Sophia had made it clear he wasn't welcome. Patricia called with updates. James is looking at 15, 20 years. Armed robbery, fraud, conspiracy, it's all sticking. Sophia's been offered a deal. Probation and community service if she testifies. She'll take it? For Tyler? She'll do anything. How is he? Tyler? Patricia hesitated. Not good from what I hear. Missing school, not eating. The therapist is concerned. Can I see him? That's up to Sophia. And honestly, Marcus, I'm not sure it's a good idea. The kid associates you with the worst day of his life. Marcus hung up and stared at his laptop. He'd been researching child psychology, trauma, recovery. Everything said the same thing. Children needed stability, consistency, truth delivered age-appropriately. He'd given Tyler truth like a bomb, when what he'd needed was careful explanation over time. His phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Chen, this is Dr. Sarah Martinez, Tyler's therapist. I think we should talk. They met at her office, a warm space designed to put children at ease. Dr. Martinez was direct. Tyler is struggling, more than normal for a child processing family upheaval. He's showing signs of acute stress disorder. Nightmares, refusal to eat, selective mutism. Selective mutism? He won't speak to adults, only whispers to other children sometimes. He's essentially shut down. Marcus felt sick. Because of what I did. Because of how it was done. Children can handle difficult truths, Mr. Chen, but they need support, preparation, age-appropriate delivery. Tyler got none of that. What can I do? That depends. What do you want? Really want? I wanted justice. And now? Marcus thought of Tyler's laugh, his excitement at soccer games, the way he'd said, "Love you, Uncle Marcus," that last normal evening. I want him to be okay. Then we need to talk about repair, not just for Tyler, but for all of you. James is in jail, and Tyler visits him twice a week, sits there silently while James talks. It's heartbreaking for both of them. He visits? James is still the only father Tyler has ever known. That doesn't disappear because of DNA or crimes. What about David? Tries to visit. Tyler won't see him. Views him as the reason everything fell apart. That was me. I'm the reason. Yes, which is why you need to be part of the solution. She leaned forward. Tyler is stuck. He can't process the truth because it came without context, without safety. He needs to understand why adults made the choices they did. All the adults. including me, especially you. You're the truth teller in his mind, the one who broke the lie. He needs to understand why. How? Slowly, carefully, with support. She pulled out a card. There's a family therapist who specializes in cases like this. Broken trust, complex trauma. She'll see all of you, together and separately. Sophia won't agree. She already has. She'll do anything to help Tyler. The question is, will you? The first session was awkward. Sophia wouldn't look at him. Tyler sat between them, silent, staring at his hands. Dr. Rebecca Foster, the family therapist, radiated calm. Tyler, do you know why we're here? Tyler shrugged. We're here because people who love you made mistakes. Big ones. And now everyone's hurt and confused. My job is to help you all heal. Can you make Dad come back? Tyler's voice was barely a whisper. I can't change what happened, but I can help you understand it. Would that be okay? Another shrug. Marcus, why don't you start? Tell Tyler why you revealed the truth that day. Marcus looked at Tyler's bowed head. Because I was angry. Hurt. I'd been in jail for 8 years for something I didn't do, and I wanted everyone to hurt like I did. Including Tyler? No, I told myself Tyler deserved the truth. But really, I was thinking about my own pain, not his. Tyler, did you hear that? A tiny nod. How does it make you feel? Sad. And mad. Those are normal feelings. Sophia, what would you like Tyler to know? Sophia's voice was thick. That I'm sorry. That I made terrible choices because I was scared and selfish. That I love him more than anything, and I wish I could take it all back. But you can't, Tyler said. No, baby, I can't. So what's the point of sorry? Dr. Foster intervened. Sorry doesn't fix the past, Tyler, but it can help build a better future, if people mean it and show it through actions. What kind of actions? That's what we're here to figure out. What would help you feel safer? More trusting? I want Dad back. James will be away for a while, but you can still have a relationship with him. And with your other father? No! Tyler's voice rose. I don't want another father. I didn't ask for another father. Okay, that's okay. You don't have to decide anything about David right now. Let's focus on the people here. What do you need from your mom and Uncle Marcus? I need them to stop lying. Have they lied since that day? Tyler considered. No, but they lied for my whole life before. That's true, and that's why trust is broken. But trust can be rebuilt. Slowly. With work. How? By being honest even when it's hard. By showing up even when it's uncomfortable. By putting your needs first. She looked at the adults. Can you both commit to that? Yes, they said in unison. Tyler? Are you willing to try? To let them try? I guess. It wasn't much, but it was a start. The sessions continued weekly. Slowly, painfully, they unpacked the years of deception. Marcus explained prison, age appropriately, but honestly. The fear, the loneliness, the anger that had consumed him. I dreamed about revenge, he admitted during one session. Every night. It kept me going, but it also poisoned me, made me forget what really mattered. What really mattered? Tyler asked. You, family, love. Things revenge can't fix. Sophia talked about her affair with David, her fear when she discovered she was pregnant, her desperate bargain with James. I told myself I was protecting you, she said to Tyler. But I was protecting myself, my image, my comfort. So you lied. Yes? That's bad? Yes, it is. Week by week, Tyler began to speak more. The selective mutism faded. He was still angry, still hurt, but processing. Dr. Foster guided them through exercises in rebuilding trust. Small steps. Marcus would promise to do something, bring a specific snack, arrive at a certain time, and follow through. Sophia would admit small truths. Yes, she'd eaten the last cookie. No, she didn't like Tyler's favorite TV show. To practice honesty. Trust is built in drops and lost in buckets, Dr. Foster explained. You're refilling the bucket one drop at a time. 2 months in, Tyler asked about James. Why did he do it? The robbery? Marcus and Sophia exchanged glances. They'd prepared for this with Dr. Foster. He owed money to dangerous people, Sophia explained. He was scared they'd hurt him. So he hurt Uncle Marcus instead? He didn't mean to. He thought he could rob the store and no one would know. But when Uncle Marcus was blamed, he was too scared to confess. That's cowardly. Yes, Marcus agreed. It was. But he was brave with me, teaching me soccer and stuff. People are complicated, Dr. Foster said. They can be cowardly in some ways and brave in others. James was wrong to let Marcus go to prison, but his love for you is real. Is that why I still love him? Even though he's bad? He did bad things, Dr. Foster corrected. That's different from being bad. And yes, you can love someone who's done bad things. Love doesn't just disappear. I wish it did. It would hurt less. The breakthrough came during month 3. Tyler had started playing soccer again, and Marcus attended a game. Sophia was there too, carefully maintaining distance. Tyler scored a goal and automatically looked to the sidelines, not for James, but for Marcus. After the game, Tyler approached him. Did you see? I saw. Great footwork. Dad taught me that move. A pause. James' dad, I mean. He's a good teacher. Uncle Marcus? I've been thinking. About what Dr. Foster said. About people doing bad things but not being bad. Tyler kicked at the grass. You did a bad thing, telling me everything like that, hurting me. Yes, I did. But you're not bad. You were just hurt and angry. That doesn't excuse it. No, but I understand it better now. Tyler looked up. I forgive you. Marcus's throat closed. Tyler, I'm still mad sometimes. And sad. But Dr. Foster says forgiveness is for me, not you. So I forgive you. Thank you. Can you forgive Mom? And James' dad? I'm working on it. Work harder. Dr. Foster says holding on to anger is like drinking poison. I don't want you to be poisoned anymore. From the mouths of babes. That evening, Marcus called Patricia. I want to modify things. The civil suit, drop it, and talk to the prosecutor about reducing James's sentence. He should pay, but not 20 years worth. You sure? Tyler needs his father. All of them, apparently. Even David, eventually. This is a big change from the man who wanted blood 3 months ago. That man didn't understand the cost. Now I do. James's sentencing came 6 months after the arrest. With Marcus's modified testimony emphasizing the desperation rather than malice, with Sophia's plea for mercy, with character witnesses including Tyler's teacher and coach, the judge showed leniency. 5 years, possibility of parole in 3. Tyler was allowed to visit before James was transferred to minimum security. Marcus drove him, waited in the car while Tyler said goodbye properly. I'll write you letters, Tyler promised. Real ones, not just the ones Mom helps with. I'd like that, James said through tears. And when you get out, things will be different. But maybe good different. Yeah, buddy. Good different. Tyler hugged him, the father who wasn't his father but loved him anyway. I love you, James' dad. I love you too, son. In the car after, Tyler was quiet. Then, Uncle Marcus? Thank you. For what? For making them reduce his sentence. Mom told me you talked to the lawyers. He should pay for what he did, but not forever. Dr. Foster says consequences should match crimes. 5 years seems more matched. You're getting wise, buddy. I have to. My family's complicated. That night, Marcus got a call from David Garrison. I heard what you did. For James. Thank you. I didn't do it for James. I know. Tyler's lucky to have you. A pause. I was wondering. Dr. Foster says Tyler might be ready to meet me. Really meet me. Would you? Would you be there? He seems to trust you. The irony wasn't lost on Marcus, the truth teller becoming the bridge builder. If Tyler wants me there, I'll be there. The meeting was scheduled for a Saturday afternoon, neutral ground at Dr. Foster's office. Tyler was nervous, clutching Marcus's hand on one side and Sophia's on the other. David was already there, looking equally nervous. He'd brought a small gift, a soccer ball. Hi, Tyler. I'm David. I know who you are. Tyler's voice was small but steady. You're my biological father. That's right. And you're my son. Why didn't you want me? David flinched. Sophia started to intervene, but Dr. Foster raised a hand. That's a fair question, David said. I was scared and selfish. I was married, had another baby coming. I thought it would be easier to pretend you didn't exist. Was it? Easier? No, it was harder. Every day for 7 years. Then why didn't you come back? Because by then, James was your dad. You were happy. I told myself I'd just mess things up. You did mess things up. By not being there. David's eyes filled. You're right. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix it. No. But I'd like to try to do better. If you'll let me. Tyler looked at Marcus, then Sophia, finally at Dr. Foster. What do you think? I think that's your choice, Tyler. You're in charge of this relationship. Can we start slow? Like, really slow? However slow you need, David agreed quickly. Maybe we could kick the soccer ball? Just for a little bit? I'd like that. They went to the small yard behind the office. Tyler and David kicked the ball back and forth, awkward at first, then with growing ease. Tyler showed him the move James had taught him. David showed him one from his high school days. You're good, David said. James, Dad, and Uncle Marcus practice with me. They've done a good job. Yeah, they have. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet. But it was a beginning. 1 year after the truth came out, they had an unusual Thanksgiving. Marcus hosted at his new apartment. He'd finally moved out of the hotel, gotten a real job, started rebuilding his life. Sophia came with Tyler. David came with his wife's permission. She'd learned the truth during the legal proceedings and, after months of therapy, had chosen to stay and support David's relationship with Tyler. They ate turkey and told stories. Tyler had prepared a presentation about what he was thankful for. I'm thankful for weird families, he read from his paper. Most kids have one mom and one dad. I have one mom and 3 dads. That's more people to love me. He looked at each adult in turn. I'm thankful for Sophia, Mom, who made mistakes but loves me enough to fix them. I'm thankful for James' dad, who's in prison but writes me letters every week and is still teaching me math through the mail. I'm thankful for David, Dad, who is scared but is trying to be brave now. And I'm thankful for Uncle Marcus, who told the truth even when it hurt, because sometimes that's what love looks like. There wasn't a dry eye at the table. I'm also thankful for Dr. Foster, Tyler continued, who helps us talk about hard stuff. And for forgiveness, which Dr. Foster says is a gift we give ourselves, and for second chances and third chances, and as many chances as it takes to get things right. He folded his paper. The end. Marcus found himself laughing through his tears. That was beautiful, buddy. Dr. Foster helped me write it, but I meant it all. We know you did. After dinner, while Tyler showed David his room, slowly building that relationship, Sophia and Marcus cleaned dishes side by side. I owe you an apology, she said quietly. We've apologized enough. No, a specific one. That night I called you, said you destroyed him. I was wrong. You broke him, yes, but you also gave him the chance to rebuild stronger, with truth as the foundation this time. I could have done it better. We all could have done everything better. But we're here now. Tyler has a complicated, messy, honest family. That's better than a simple, clean lie. Is it? She gestured toward the living room where Tyler was teaching David a card game, both of them laughing. You tell me. 2 years later, James was released on parole. Tyler, now 10, waited at the prison gates with Marcus, Sophia, and David. An unlikely family, bound by a child's need for all his fathers. Daddy! Tyler ran to James, who caught him and spun him around. Hey, buddy, you got so tall! I'm playing basketball now, too. David Dad coaches my team. Uncle Marcus helps with homework. Mom says I'm getting too busy. Sounds like you've got a good team. The best team. Tyler looked at all his adults. Complicated, but good. James approached Marcus cautiously. Thank you for everything. Reducing the sentence, taking care of Tyler. We take care of each other, Marcus said. That's what family does. Am I still family? After everything? Ask your son. Tyler grabbed James's hand. Come on, James, Dad. We have a lot to catch up on. I saved all my report cards to show you. As they walked to the car, all of them this strange, fractured, healing family, Marcus thought about the last 5 years. The fury that had driven him out of prison. The revenge that had consumed him. The child who'd taught him that truth without compassion was just another form of cruelty. He'd wanted justice. He'd gotten it. But more than that, he'd gotten something he hadn't known he needed. Redemption. Not just for himself, but for all of them. Tyler ran ahead, then turned back. Come on, Uncle Marcus. We're going to be late for my game. Coming, buddy. As he jogged to catch up, Marcus felt the last of his prison anger finally dissolve. 8 years stolen, but a lifetime recovered. Not the life he'd planned, but maybe the one he needed. Tyler grabbed his hand. Love you, Uncle Marcus. Love you too, kiddo. Love you too. And for the first time since that long-ago arrest, Marcus Chen was truly free. Epilogue. 10 years later, Tyler Chen stood at the podium, his high school valedictorian medal catching the light. At 18, he'd grown tall like David, with James's discipline, Marcus's intelligence, and Sophia's warmth. In the audience, his unusual family sat together, something that would have been impossible to imagine a decade ago. They say it takes a village to raise a child, Tyler began his speech. In my case, it took a small, complicated city. Laughter from those who knew his story. I stand here today because of parents who loved me enough to face hard truths, to rebuild from destruction, to choose forgiveness over bitterness. He looked at each of them. Marcus, successful now, running a nonprofit for the wrongfully convicted. Sophia, who'd become a counselor herself, helping other families navigate complex truths. James, working in construction again, humbled but not broken. David, who'd become a steady presence, coaching not just Tyler, but dozens of kids who needed father figures. When I was 7, my world exploded. Everything I believed was a lie. But from those ashes, something beautiful grew, a family built on truth, held together by choice rather than blood or obligation. Tyler had written his college essay about that terrible day in 2nd grade. How Uncle Marcus had destroyed his perfect lie and given him an imperfect truth. How he'd learned that love wasn't about perfection, but about showing up, especially when it was hard. So thank you, Tyler continued, to my mother, who showed me that strength means admitting weakness. To James, who taught me that good people can do bad things and still deserve love. To David, who proved it's never too late to step up. And to Uncle Marcus, who loved me enough to tell me the truth, even when it hurt us both. He'd been accepted to Northwestern on a full scholarship, planning to study law. Not to get revenge, he'd told Dr. Foster in their final session, but to help other kids in complicated situations find their truth safely. After the ceremony, the family gathered for photos. Other families looked on, confused by the dynamics. Why did this kid have so many fathers? Why were they all getting along? You did good, buddy, Marcus said, using the childhood nickname. We all did, Tyler corrected. Eventually. James had served 3 years, getting out early for good behavior and prison tutoring programs. He and Sophia had never rekindled their romance. That bridge was too damaged to rebuild. But they'd found a different relationship, united in their love for Tyler. David's marriage had survived, stronger for the honesty. His other children, now teenagers themselves, called Tyler their brother. Complicated, but it worked. Group photo, the official photographer called. They arranged themselves, Tyler in the middle, his village around him. The photographer looked confused. Who's the father? All of them, Tyler said simply. Different kinds, different ways, but all mine. Later, at the graduation party, Dr. Foster made an appearance. She'd become part of their extended family, the architect of their rebuilding. Remember our first session? She asked Tyler. You wouldn't even speak. I thought silence was safer than truth. What do you think now? Tyler looked around at his family, laughing, arguing about basketball, planning his college send-off. I think truth is harder, but silence is just slow poison. Better to drink the medicine, even if it's bitter. You've become quite the philosopher. I had good teachers, complicated ones, but good. As the party wound down, Tyler found himself on the back porch with Marcus, watching the sunset. Any regrets? Tyler asked. Thousands, Marcus admitted. But not about the outcome, just the journey. Would you do it differently? If you could go back? Marcus considered. I'd tell the truth. But I'd remember that truth is a tool, not a weapon. I'd think about the 7-year-old boy who needed honesty delivered with love, not anger. For what it's worth, Tyler said, I'm glad you told me. Even how you told me. It hurt, but it was real. And real is better than comfortable lies. You sure about that? Ask me again in 20 years. But right now? Yeah. The truth set us free. Eventually. They sat in comfortable silence, this uncle and nephew who'd been through hell together and come out the other side. Uncle Marcus? Yeah? Thank you for everything. The truth, the anger, the forgiveness, the rebuilding. All of it. Thank you for teaching me that justice without mercy is just revenge. We taught each other. Yeah, buddy. We did. As night fell, the party moved inside. Tyler was surrounded by his complicated, beautiful family. 4 parents who'd failed and succeeded in different ways. Siblings who were half, step, and everything in between. Friends who'd stuck by him through the worst year of his childhood. In his graduation speech, Tyler had quoted something Dr. Foster once said. Families aren't about perfection. They're about people who choose each other, again and again, especially when it's hard. Looking at them all now, Marcus and David debating basketball, Sophia and James's wife comparing recipes, his various siblings playing video games, Tyler knew he was the luckiest kid alive. Not because his family was perfect, but because they'd chosen truth over comfort, rebuilding over resentment, love over law. His phone buzzed. A text from Dr. Foster. Proud of you, Tyler. Proud of all of you. He typed back, we couldn't have done it without you. You could have. It just would have taken longer. Truth always finds a way. Truth always finds a way. Tyler pocketed his phone and rejoined his family. In a few months, he'd leave for college, carrying their lessons with him. The importance of truth, but also of timing. The power of forgiveness, but also of accountability. The beauty of complex families who choose each other despite everything. Tyler, his mom called. Come here, we're doing cake. 18 candles on a graduation cake. 18 years of a life that had almost been destroyed at 7. But they'd rebuilt all of them into something stronger than before. As Tyler blew out the candles, surrounded by his beautifully imperfect family, He made a wish that other children in impossible situations would find their way to truth and healing too. That families broken by lies would have the courage to rebuild with honesty. That love would prove stronger than law, forgiveness more powerful than revenge. The candles went out. The family cheered. And Tyler Chen, son of David and Sophia, raised by James, saved by Marcus, healed by truth, stepped into his future, carrying all their love with him. The truth had hurt, but in the end, it had set them all free.